Good morning. The share is on the Sicha of the Rebbe. And a Sicha that I say it very often, but this is really an incredible way how the Rebbe learns the Rambam. Moshe takes the Rambam and piece by piece takes it apart and shows how it fits into the Mahalach that the Rebbe says. And it is a very, very difficult Rambam, not in the not conceptually, but word-wise, and the way that Rambam writes, which does not fit his style and does not fit what he's trying to usually do. Nevertheless, Rebbe gives us an incredible insight. The Sicha is in Teruma. It's also printed in Chidushim, and Biurim, and Hilchos Beis Abchira. And we're going to go through it. Now, it's longer than usual. We'll see how to try to shorten it as best as we can for the attention span of the average person. Maybe suggested to listen to this in 2 sittings. But nevertheless, let's go through the Rambam as we usually do. We don't start with the Sicha, we start with the discussion of what the Sicha is about, and also various Makairis for the Sicha, which is the way really to get a real understanding of a Sicha and especially of this magnitude. So the Rambam Hilchos Beis Abchira Perik Dalet Halacha Aleph writes, Even Hoysa B'Kedesh HaKadoshim B'Ma'aravai. Now, we're going to talk about this. Why in the world does he begin this halacha about the stone that's in the Kedesh Kedoshim in its western side? Okay, we know what he wants to bring. There's the next few words. Who cares that the munach was on an Evan or it was on the floor? What's our business? We're interested in the Aron. That seems to interest. Okay. Now, immediately, Ulafanov, Tzinsenes Hamon, Umatar. Now, that's not it doesn't sound like that's so important to the picture. It was put there for various reasons, and we'll talk about that if we get around to it. When Shlomo HaMelech built the Beis HaMikdash, and he knew that it's going to be destroyed. Now, how did he know that? Why did he know that? Why is it important for us to know that he knew that? It's all going to be discussed. Bona boy makan. He built it. He built it. In what? A place. Lignas by Aaron. So he hide the Aaron. Now here, from here on, at least for the next few lines, it seems totally not relevant to what we're talking about. That's the big issue that the Rebbe takes with this Rambam. Where did he build it? Now he goes through a whole description. Lamata, bimatmoiniais, amukais, vakalkalois, in very deep, concealed chambers, and winding and not easy to get to. Okay. Even if he stopped here, we could fathom and we can stomach what he's saying to some degree. I know the word stomach is the right word, but we can sort of wrap our head around what he's saying. Then the Yashio HaMelech Tziva v'Gonzeh. Yashio commanded and hid it, to hide it. Where? The Makom Shabbat is later. Who cares? Why? Shenema vayemel alavim. He's told to the Levim, Amavinim l'chol Yisrael, who teach all the Jews, Hakadoshim Hashem, they're holy to the Hebeshter. Now, what does he say to them? He doesn't say to them, take the Aron away. Put the Aron into the house. Now, where what do you mean in the house? You're not putting it in the house. You're putting it into a tunnel. Tough word to use today. A tunnel under the ground. Wait. What's going on here? Okay, went into the house. Shimon Shleimer, Ben David, Melech. So, if you're done. You're not carrying Ata now. Who cares? Again, why does he bring all this? If do as Hashem Lakem, go serve God. Now, if he wanted to just say that they put it there, he should have brought true as Aaron of a Master from Shleiman. Okay, now, not done. Remember he mentioned the Tzansenes Hamon and the Mata Aaron? Comes back again at it with us without it. Venignas Imai Mata Aaron and the Tzansenes Hamon. And he adds Hashem and Amish. Now the Gemara has another thing that's added there, and we'll talk about that. A carton, or I don't know what it was made. It was made out of argaze that was given to them, but that was put there on their own. But you know, then none of this came back from Hashem. Which again, why does he say that? Every single one of these things he already mentions in different places that they weren't in Baisheni. Now let's go right. Now he comes with a what sounds like he's coming from left field. Now again, this Rambam is not difficult to understand. It's difficult to comprehend what is he trying to tell us. Now suddenly the af uravitum what? What? We're talking about the orange. We're talking about the matter, and then whoever two wasn't hidden. Where did he come in for it? There's going to have to come a new era where the Kohen is going to be able to ask the Urvatum. But why did they make it? So if so, why did they have the Urvatum if it didn't answer? And the answer is because it's not only for answering. This is so out of place that and the biggest problem is he talks about it in Hilchis Klei Hamikdash. So why bring it here altogether? Okay, I want to just bring a couple of things that are not mentioned in the Sicha necessarily. Some of them are, some are not, but I want to bring a few Rambams. In Avedas Yom Kippurim, the Rambam clearly states that there was no Aron. So why he has to get into it here, that's another problem. Higi al Aron came to Aron, Noisen HaMachta Ben Shnei Abadim. He puts the Machta between the two Badim, that's when the Aron was there. Put on the Evan Hashasi. In Hilchis Klei Hamikdash, in the Hagdama, he writes mitzvah, one with losses the Aron ala koseh. But he doesn't talk about making an Aron. Just talks about carrying an Aron on your shoulder, which is what the chiyuv is. A big tumult. Why doesn't he talk about making an Aron? There's a mitzvah to make Aron. And then he says interesting thing. In Perek Beis and Klei Hamikdash, Shalachi Bey, where he talks about the Aron. That's one of the problem. Why is he talking about the Aron here when he's talking about it there? When you bring the Aron from one place to the other, you don't put it on an animal, you don't put it on a wagon. Now, for some reason, he feels necessary to tell us the following. The fish has Shachar David V'Nosei al Hagolo. Nifretz Perez B'Uza. Cause David carried it on, put it on a wagon. There was a tragedy that happened in Uzzah. Now, if you would ask me how to write this halakha, I would say mitzvah lenot le'alakose, as he writes in the beginning, losses are halakose. And then, if you want to explain, don't put it on an animal. And because David forgot, if he wants to mention, what's the purpose? Why talk negatively about David in the Rambam? What do we need it for? I want to mention just that the Gemara in Yuma, where he talks of where the source of this halacha that you put it on the Ben Abadim, the Gemara there talks about the Mishnah says Higiyah L'Aron, he puts it Ben Abadim. So the Gemara says, when are we talking about? I think the Shrishan, there was no Pareiches, and there says there was a Pareiches. I mean the Sheni, there was no Aron, and he brings the whole Gemara and everything that the Rambam, a lot of what the Rambam mentions. And the Gemara learns I'm so good. The Gemara says, no, let him bring the Sheni. What does it mean to Gil Aron? Mokkay Maran. Think what it says no, so there had to be an Aron. No, Kim Bein Shnei Abadim says if you put it in the Mishnah. What do you mean? What kind of? Why can't the Mishnah talk? Why do we have to say the Muslim Bein Shnei Abadim, Kim Bein Shnei Abadim? Okay, so those are some of the auras that we're going to go through now. I want to just go through a list of auras. Many of them the Rebbe makes, probably most of them are in this Sicha and other Sicha that the Rebbe talks about this. And it's interesting. Another Sicha the Rebbe has a little different take, but it fits into what he says. Okay. So we already mentioned, why does he start off about the Evan? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Aron. There's a kasha that the Mecharshanas. Where did Yeshayahu get the right to take it from and put it away and hide it? I mean, and there was no danger at the time. He was worried about a future danger. Who gave him a right to move the earth? Second question, another question. Where did they get where did they know where did they know to build in the Bayis Sheni without an Aron and crew? Maybe they had to go make it. These are kashas that they're not in the Sicha. These are kashas that some Sefer has. There's other ask these questions. Again, Bana Boy Mokai, it's not clear where. And again, who cares where it's hidden? Why are we talking about? These are the Rebbe's question. Why do we care where it's hidden? Here or somewhere else, whatever the neck. What does he stress that as we ask, why do we care that Shleiman built the place to hide the Aron? Why does he have to get into all the details? Medias, amukais, calculus. Why does he stress by Yeshua Melech? Not only that he hit it, which is a problem on its own, Tziva v'Ganzai. Well, obviously, I just say Ganzai. Why do you have to stress the Tziva? Somebody that can deal, kid. But I doesn't throw words for no reason. And where the Makam Shabbat Shleimer? You should have said Tziva Ganzai Sham. Why does he stress the Makam Shabbat Shleimer? Place for Shleimer built it. As we asked, why does he write Tnu? Should it be Ku as Aron? Visim over there. What do you Tnu? Tnu is an Asina, like an ice in Asina. You're doing something kosher there. Basically, you're running away. You're hiding. There's somebody. Go put yourself in the hiding place. You don't put yourself in hiding. You run away to the hiding place. Yeah. Then he brings a raya from the pasuk, and he mentions the whole pasuk. Ein lecha matzah because after if the Shem Gecha. What you have to do is, well, that's not teaching that Tziva v'Ganzai. That's not negaya. Again, we asked, why is it relevant the fact that Yoda Shesayfi lecharev? Who cares? And also, it sounds like he did it on his own. Yoda Shesayfi lecharev, but it says Hakol B'Ksav. It has to be off the Eibush. It has to be B'Ksav. And then what is the Urim Tum doing here? And especially that he writes about the Urim Tum in Hilchos Klei HaMikdash. And that's the part of the question. Aron belongs in Klei HaMikdash, not here. And we're talking about the Tzura Sabayis, the Tzura of the Beis HaMikdash. And there in Hilchos Klei HaMikdash writes also by Sheni Urim and Tumim they lahash v'shmeinu begadim. Obviously, in the Shalom Bam. And he says, why not? They say it's Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Why doesn't Rambam bring din about Siyas art of making the art? That's not the Rebbe's question. So others ask them. Others ask another question. There are changes in the Kalim. Okay, so we change it from what Moshe Rabbeinu did. And Bayis Sheni is different by Rishon. And a binyan that's going to be when Mashiach comes now, soon, very, very, very now, which is Nevuas Yecheskel, is also different. So how did the Nevi'im change things in such a way, so permanently? Now, the Rambam talks about the mitzvah of carrying only regarding the Aron. Why not about the other kelim? If you're talking about carrying, the mitzvah to carry on the other kelim. Yeah, and then we asked, how come the Rambam doesn't start off with the mitzvah of carrying? He starts off with the isser of putting it on an animal. Well, what does he bring David for? What is it relevant here in Sefer Halachos? Then we asked, why does he bring the Tzitzenes on the Matnaran in this whole discussion? And he brings it somewhere else. He talks about Tzitzenes. The Gemara does say, the Gemara mentions three things. That Mishanig Nazar, Nignasi, my Tzitzenes Amon, Sluchas Hashem and Amishto, Maklishlein, Ushkedel Prachel, the Argesh Shagru Prishon Dar L'Keisel, and the carton or whatever it was that they put that the Plishtim sent. Why doesn't the Rama mention that? And again, that they didn't come back to this in the second Beis Hamikdash. Why is that relevant? And again, he writes all this in other places in Ilchas Aveidos Yom Kippur, Nichas Le'am Mikdash. He says all that. Yeah, and then we asked the question on the Gemara. All right, we mentioned about 25 shilas, but I can't go into every one of them in the detail. So I want to go through a few different things. I want to get to the Rebbe's incredible approach here. In the answer why, let's say we're not going to go in order of the questions, but sort of in a logical order, not a chronological order. An answer why he doesn't mention carrying of the other kalim. So I saw brought down in the name of the Brisker Rav, that's written in his end of his Chidushim in the Rambam, in his letters, that carrying kalim was not a mitzvah only in the midbar, because the Mishkan was a traveling entity. But once there is a permanent place, Nivchara Yishalayim, it's eternal. No more carrying. That's it. You're going to stay here. So why is there but in the Aron? But Aron was never taken away. Why? Because the Aron is not like the rest of the kid. It's always a traveling item. Because the purpose of the Aron in Yerushalayim, this is what he says. Again, you're going to see other approaches, is a place to keep the luchais. So it's not, if I can't, he wants to say not part of the minyan, it's the place to keep the luchais. That's what he said. That was the Aron, Beis Hamikdash, a place for the luchais. The Rebbe, in a different Sicha, and it's brought down in Chidush Biur, doesn't say there where the Sicha is, but it's the answer that he writes. The purpose of the Aron in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Kedesh Hashem, is Kedei, there should be even a Adati L'cha Shah. Right? That's where I will meet you. When Moshe Rabbeinu will meet Eibishter, or whoever. There it's talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. Once this happened of building, it's Eina B'Teilah. So he said, yes, that's the purpose. Once it was accomplished, it never is going to be, it doesn't lose its Kedusha. So there's a couple of things. There's no mitzvah to make an Aron anymore. So why do we need an Aron? But Aron brings a higher level of Asher Shechina. But that doesn't make a mitzvah to make. It's a very massive breakthrough in thinking about it. Once there's a place, there's no, why is there an Indian to carry? Because you still have opportunities, as we'll see, to carry. And this Sicha is a little different than what he's going to say, what we're going to say. But I just want to bring one thing. There's a Sam Sefer that says a similar thing as the Rebbe. And he brings also that the purpose is in the Yad L'Chasham. Listen to what he says. And the Yad L'Chasham is miyuchet to Moshe Rabbeinu. And now without Moshe, there is no Inyan to make an Aron. Yeah, you have an Aron, put it there. Wow. Yeah. So he says, that the Eibishter right away in the beginning told him, he says that's a mitzvah that every binyan is going to tell you different things. So there's no problem with Hakam Aksav. It was set up right away at the beginning. You're going to know everything. But he says the Aron by Sheni, that says Moshe Rabbeinu is not there. Wow. What a breakthrough. Okay, in the whole mitzvahs of the Aron, the Megillah Esther says, it's not a mitzvah Hegel Deiris. You do it once and it's gonna remain forever. That's it. Never happened another Aron. And that Aron is there forever. Now, in Yerushalm Fischl Perlstein, and his beer on the Asag goes to bat on this. He says, how do you know that? Where do you get this from? And he's going, okay. Okay, let us now go to the Sicha that we are we are learning. So the Rebbe comes along and he massive breakthrough. Obviously, he says this halacha is brought in Hilchas Beis Abchira. And he writes, Eilen advarim shen ikke bebayanyin bait, oisa bekodesh kodesh. Oisa migdash kalim. And he explains the Kli Hamikdash in each in their place, in their prak, Beis and Gimel. And he explains how they look. Dalit he starts talking about the tzura of the Beis Hamikdash. Kaisle Abayis, Heichel, Sharim. So why does the Aron come in here? It belongs where he talked about Kli Hamikdash. And he hiding in there. So the Rebbe says this, that the Aron is the major part of the Beis Hamikdash. It's not a kli, opposite of what we saw before. Not a kli in the Beis Hamikdash. It is a kli that represents the Beis Hamikdash. It's a chelik of the Kodesh Kadosh. It makes the Beis Hamikdash into a vice. Now, you know, there's a famous machlek in the Rambam and the Ramban, but the Rebbe said they're all the same opinion, basically. It's just a different take on what they were focusing on. It's a chelik of the Kodesh Kadosh. This is a major breakthrough. So I say, by Sheni, no Aron Kodesh. What kind of Beis Hamikdash do we have? And the answer is, it was there. It was there. Where? Underground. But underground is not the Beis Hamikdash. It is. You know why? Because Shlomo HaMelech, who built the Beis Hamikdash, built it with an underground, with an intending. And when he built it, he knew it was going to be destroyed. He knew it was going to be destroyed. And therefore, he made sure that there is another place where it can be part of the Beis Hamikdash, and he made that part of the Kedushas of Beis Hamikdash. He made and therefore he had to know this. He had to know this. Unbelievable. And therefore, he wants to bring out, by mentioning how hidden it was, he wants to bring out that there's two places for the art. All right. There is a revealed place on the Even Shesiyah, and there's a hidden place, Matmuniyos, Amukos, Vakalkalos. two places. They're both part of the Kodesh Kodashim. They're both the Aron, and the Aron is in the Kodesh Kodashim, either revealed or hidden. Now he wants to say this is not a diavad. This is the way it's supposed to be set up. And maybe the Megillas Esther is referring to this. It never is going to be another Aron. This is it. The Aron is there forever. It's not Shaykh Urban Aron. So now let's take a look. He built by Lignas in the Kodesh Kodashim, part of the Beis Hamikdash, and he knew it was going to be destroyed. That's why he built it, and he made it holy like the Kodesh Kodashim. Yeshio HaMelech, when he did it, there was no sakana yet. That's why he put it in then to show it's not sakana. We're not doing it only to run away. It's not running away, and that's why it's new. It's bringing it there, and it's a carrying it there. There's a carrying. It's not siluk, it's the sina. It's not taking away, it's putting in. And the reason he stresses it was with Levium, because just like by Shlomo did it through Kahanim, they do it Levium. What does he stress about? Why does he bring the pasuk? You can't carry, not do Aveda, to tell him that you can't carry, but there's no difference. You're still the same level of Aveda. I mean, every word in the Rambam is Kimin Chaimer. It fits beautifully into what he's trying to say. What does he mention Urim V'Tumim? To show you that even though it doesn't have the value, that it doesn't have the revealed value of Urim V'Tumim, but doesn't matter. It's still part of the Beis Hamikdash. You still have to wear it. Same idea. That Shani, there's an Aron. Then he says that's why the Rambam brings in Senas Amon Amata Aron. That even when the Aron is hidden, it needs those things that are supposed to be in front of them. Since it is part of the Aron. And he mentions a Gevurah Sari that says that they must be in front of the Aron. So it was hidden together. So it's still, the Aron is still there. The Aron is in a museum. No, the Aron is in the Kodesh Kodashim. It's still in the Kodesh Kodashim. And why did he mention the Aron? Because the Aron is for sure is part of the Aron. That's the whole reason. Because why did he give it to them? Because of the greatness of the Aron. Because the Aron, when they had the Aron, they saw how great the Aron is. That's why they gave it. And that's why he stresses maybe. It's not from the Sicha, but that based on that, the Sicha is because since they are shaykh to the Aron, it's just like the Aron doesn't come back, they can't come back. It's incredible. I'm going to leave out the ideas of the Mata and the Aron. There's a lot to talk about here and answer some of the questions that I mentioned, but we're going to leave them unanswered right now. But I want to just end up with one thing, perhaps, that just like it says that it says that they put it in as if it were in Bein Abadim, right? So we asked, why does the Mishnah say that? Why does the Mishnah say that? Why does the Rambam start with Evan Haisim by Kodesh Kodashim? Could be the word is to tell you that there is a reveal. The Evan is the revealed place. No, it's. Yeah, there is a place for the Aron. And that place is holy. Now listen what happens. When we take away the Aron from that place and we put it underneath, and you do the zrika, it's kibein shnei abadim. That place has the value of being because it's in its same, it's not just in a hidden place. That hidden place is representing this revealed place. So that's why the Mishnah says it meant kivein shnei abadim, as if there's the Aron standing there. In other words, the Even Shasiya becomes the place of the Aron, and as if the Aron is there. Even though it's in a hidden place, it's as if it's there in the revealed place. And that's why the Rambam starts on the Even Shasiya, because the Even Shasiya ends up being the Aron, the manifestation of the Aron when it's revealed. Okay. Seid gesund und stark. Hatzlocha, Rabbi,